Welcome to the first of our series of videos on our Zambia trip 2015. My daughter Kate is traveling with me. She was with me last year, if you remember, when I was doing my final Africa trip in my great green Land Cruiser.
Hi.
We've just spent 4 days in Johannesburg prepping the vehicle, and finally we're on our way. Day one, we're in Botswana. We decided to go through Botswana and not Zimbabwe because of all of the hassles in Zimbabwe. And at the moment we are in wonderful Botswana, driving north from the town of Nata, which is in the middle of the country, and heading to Kasane. Now here's the wonderful thing. As we head north, sun setting to our west, we're heading into kind of no man's land because, well, between here where we are and our destination where we actually cross over to Zambia, a place called Kasangula, there really are no places to camp. 300 to Kasangula, okay, yeah. Well, we've done 20, that makes sense. So we're going to wild camp tonight, and this particular road is one of those few roads left in Africa where you can actually find wild animals roaming freely. So what we're going to do is we've looked on the map and we figured that on the latitude of 19 degrees, was 15 minutes, there are 2 roads off to the east, and we are going to try and find one of those roads, and they lead to a small pan. And it'll be our first overnight camp for our Zambia trip. One of the few places left on Earth, a public road, not a national park. Elephants. Amazing. Never get used to it. Seen it 100 times. Gets better every time. A little bit stressful in that the coordinate we had, there was no road there, or if it was there, it's grown over and we could not find it. So now getting late, 10 to 6, sun going down, and the bush is very, very thick. I just want to get away from the road. We can wild camp anywhere, it's safe, but I must get away from the road. I can't be on the road. So, and the bush is too thick, so we're just driving and now looking for a clearing to drive into the bush. Four-wheel drive to start with. I've seen a suitable place. It's quite deep in the bush, okay, where I think we will be far enough from the road and, with luck, out of sight of it. I'm going to try and find our way through the bush, and while avoiding mapani stumps. Mapani is the most common tree in this area and notorious. Branches go through tires like a knife through hot butter. This is actually quite pretty. I want to get away from the road a little further, and I see a place there. And the beauty of Botswana is that you can do this. It's safe. It's not safe in most southern African countries. Northern Namibia, safe. Botswana, most of Botswana, it's safe. Oh wow, this is very pretty. I'm going to turn down here. There, I can park on the pan. It's a very, very small pan. Just make sure it's not muddy. There you go. Kate is taking charge of cinematographer she's going to be the chief cinematographer for this entire project. I'm going to direct her. And there's our tent. We haven't pitched the tent yet, so we're going to stop filming now because it's getting dark. But I can hear a car, but I can't see the lights. We're in a dip, which means we cannot be seen. Even our lights cannot be seen by passers on the road. So we are absolutely safe. I mean, we're safe anywhere, but we don't want to be disturbed. And there's elephant dung around, and hopefully there'll be some new elephant dung in the morning. Day 2, wild camping on the edge of the road. We pulled over last night. We were chasing the sun. We tried to find a particular coordinate where we saw on the map there was a road leading off into the bush where we could find a secluded place, and we couldn't find that point. Even though we had the coordinates, obviously the track hasn't been used in a while, and it's now overgrown and vanished. So we were chasing the light, and eventually we did find a clear patch in very heavy bush, and we actually found ourselves in this small pan. We're quite close to the road. Now this is the main road that goes from Francistown, Nata, up to a place called Kasangula. Kasangula is a unique point on the map where Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe and Zambia meet right in the middle of the river. And Kasangula is where we're going to cross, and it's where all these trucks cross into Zambia. And the reason why that so many trucks use this road is because the corruption in Zimbabwe is still very bad, particularly for truck drivers. They have to hand over money, hand over fist, all the way through Zimbabwe, so they just plain avoid it now. It's worth coming this route even though it's longer and slower. And there's the sun coming up over the bush. Isn't that magnificent? Okay, Kasangula ferry, busy border post, managed to get through in about 40 minutes, wasn't too bad. There was an extra form I had to sign, not a problem. There's Zambia, we're about to leave. These ferries go across the Chobe River all the time. It doesn't cost a lot, and we left the shore within 5 minutes of boarding. We set sail. We're about to land on Zambia. A new and unfamiliar border procedure can be a bit intimidating. And Zambia, while having a reputation for friendly people, doesn't have a similar reputation for easy border crossings. As it turned out, it wasn't particularly easy, nor particularly terrible. It took a little over an hour, so not too bad for this kind of crossing. Right, we are at Victoria Falls on the Zambian side. Now, I've only ever been here once, and to be honest with you, I have very thin recollection of my visit here. I'm not sure why. I don't even have too many photographs, but anyway, this is Kate's very first visit to the Victoria Falls. I first came here when I was 7 years old. I've been here a few times. So what do you reckon about crossing that bridge then?
They call this Danger Point. It's my middle name.
They say don't look down. So I'm going to get this to do it for me. It's disappointing the amount of water coming down. 4 months ago, 5 months ago, virtually the entire line of rocks would be white with water. I can see some steam, if you like, over there, which means a lot more water is flowing over there. See if we can go and get a better view. The truth is, though, it wasn't. Zambia is suffering its worst drought in 20 years. And since over 70% of Zambia's electricity is created by hydroelectric power, means that the average Zambian only gets electricity for 7 hours each day. Interestingly though, that land over there is actually Zambia. We're on Zambia as well. This is the chasm and has a closed end. But that piece of land just over there, I could almost throw a stone at it, is Zimbabwe. Our overnight camp is at Camp Nkwazi on the banks of the Zambezi, about an hour or so from Victoria Falls. And I've opened up the back and discovered something rather unpleasant. Not the best of days. I always advise people who are traveling with overland, do the best you can not to carry fuel in your vehicle. Carry it in jerry cans outside of the vehicle. But of course, I didn't have any choice. I needed to fit, I needed to carry enough fuel for 1,000 kilometers. That's advisable for overlanding in Africa. So I carry a jerry can. It leaks. It's brand spanking new. It leaks. I didn't test it. Stupid boy. I didn't test it. The back of my vehicle is awash with diesel. And those of you who've worked with diesel will know, once diesel touches something, that's it. You can never get the smell out. You throw it away. And that includes just about anything.